Thank you for joining us for our video tutorial on RenWeb's ParentsWeb Access, brought to you by the Educational Technology team at ISP. I am Dr. Nicole Yemothy, and I will be your tutorial host today. I am the ISP Technology Integration Coordinator, and along with my team, we are the Systems Administrator of RenWeb at ISP for grades PK3 through 12. You can reach me by email at nyemothy@isp.edu.pa. For technical support, you can also reach the Tech Center by emailing us at edtechhelp@isp.edu.pa, or you can call the Tech Center at 293-3000 and ask for extension 3133 or ask for the Tech Center. If you're on campus, you're welcome to visit the Tech Center. We're located above the elementary gym at the top of the stairs that are just down the hall from the nurse. We're open from 6:45 in the morning to 4:30 in the afternoon for support for our parents, students, and teachers. We're open Monday to Friday and during when school is in session. We are closed during the holidays and the summer break. Today, our goal for our parents is to show them how to access RenWeb in the ParentsWeb, how to view the information on the ParentsWeb homepage, where to view their family's information in RenWeb, how to view their students' attendance records and medical records and other documents we have in RenWeb for parents, as well as how to update their parents and their family information. To get started today, you'll need a laptop that has internet connection. You'll need the mother and/or the father's email address on record at the ISP Admissions Department, and you'll need our specific district code of IS-PAN. Again, that's IS-PAN. This helps RenWeb know what school we're talking to or they're talking to. So let's go ahead and get started. We're first going to open up a web browser, and that can be Chrome, Internet, or Firefox. It does work best with Internet Explorer, and it does work on Mac as well as PCs. You can go to the website of isp.edu.pa, and we're going to use the quick link for parents and click into RenWeb. But first, when we get there, we'll need to set up your parent access. So I'll demonstrate for you how to set up your parent access, and then we'll go into the parents. So here you'll see that I've opened up the ISP website, and I'm going to go to the quick link for parents. Once this opens, I'll go down to the second option on the far left and click RenWeb for parents. And this will bring me to the RenWeb entrance for the ParentsWeb. You'll know that you're at the ISP site because you've got the logo and the picture of our campus. As I mentioned, you need to first set up your ParentsWeb access. So we'll go here to create a new ParentsWeb account, and you'll click on it. So we'll go ahead and we'll put in our email address that we have for our family, and then click Create an Account. It will then tell me that there has been a notice sent to that email account, and through there I would confirm that information. So once I've opened up my email, I'll see an email from RenWeb Support. If it's not in your inbox, you may want to go ahead and check your spam folder or your junk folder to find it, but it should hopefully be in your inbox. You'll click it, and then you'll see here, create a link to a ParentsWeb login. So you'll click on this, and it will take you out of your email and into a browser for the creation of access accounts for families. Every adult that is related to this account, so a husband and a wife and or a grandparent or a step-parent, will be listed. So here you can see I have some fake family members, and you can see that Mike Fake has already been set up, and I'm going to set up Donna Fake. So there I would type in DFAKE, and then I would go ahead and say save the user. If I want to create a password that's different than my previous setup account, or if I'm setting up a new account, I would put in that new password, and it can be anything longer than 6 characters, and it must have at least one letter and one number, and I'd hit save. And once it does it, it will tell me here at the top that the username and the password combination has been saved. So from here, I would go back to where I came from over at the ParentsWeb. So having used the extra tabs, which is nice, you haven't lost where you were. But if you needed to, you could go back to the website for ISP and get back into RenWeb. So I'm going to click over here back to my ParentsWeb. Now you'll see that the ISP-PAN district code has been saved by my computer. If not, of course, you can type it in. Now I'll put in that ID that I created of DFake and the password that I've put in. And now it's very important to remember that we are parents when you're accessing this. At other times in the year, your students might access RenWeb to make in-course requests or check their report card or something, and in that case they would want to change it to student. But as a parent, it is defaulted for you, and you'll want to make sure that button is marked. Go ahead and click Login, and the page will take you to the parents' home page. As you see here, you're still at ISP because you've got the logo and the picture of the school. And now that we're here at the home page, you have a bunch of different information. We're going to spend a little time here, and then we're going to check out the student information and the family information section. So first, you know that you're in your account because it says welcome back and it has your name. And it is good to remember to click log out when you're done so that you don't leave it open on a computer that isn't your personal device. Here under the announcement section, you'll see different announcements coming up that are happening in events at ISP. And so you see here an example is that on the 25th of September, in honor of ISP's 33rd birthday, we'll have no school. Other activities were listed earlier, such as the open house last week or different upcoming events. If there were events happening at ISP today that were loaded in the system, they would list here under Today. And of course, if you click on the tab for tomorrow, you'll be able to see in events that are listed for tomorrow. Again, if these events are listed in the system, we're getting more in events loaded up as the calendars are being published for the new year. You also have the school-wide calendar that has been sent out via email to parents in a PDF. We've loaded most of those events on the activity here for the first semester. So as you see, that same announcement about no school on the 25th of September, and then when quarter 1 ends, and of course quarter 2 begins. When you see special things like the HS in front of it, or an MS in front of it, that means that that event is applicable to just high school or just middle school. When you don't see any letters like ES or HS or MS in front, then it means it's a school-wide event or an activity. If you want to look ahead, you can scroll down and you'll see other things for the first half of the year. You could also come back over here on the left-hand side and click on Calendar. This will take you to more detailed activities and include things that classroom teachers, especially in elementary, will be loading in the coming months about classroom activities for students you have that are in elementary grades. The high school and the middle school use the Canvas calendar, so their events may not be published here if they're not a division level event that's been loaded. If you want to look at other months, you can go ahead and jump by simply changing the date or using the Click Forward button. You can also choose to print a calendar by using the Print Calendar button, and it makes it ink friendly, and you can now then hit this to go to your printer that's built into your computer or a PDF. We're going to go ahead and cancel and back out of here. Notice that when I do click on things such as print for the calendar, it doesn't take me out of the ParentsWeb, but rather it opens up a new browser. So you can close it down and go back to where you came from. We also have a school directory built into here for the staff. This is not a parent or family directory. That is done separately through the communications department. This is the directory for within ISP staffing. If you want to find a teacher or confirm that you've got an email address right, you can either scan by looking at the different names by last name, or you can type in a last name of a teacher, and when you click Submit, it will bring up any teacher with that information. Here you'll see that your cursor changes to a hand, and you can click on it and it will take you to a pop-up about that staff member. And if there's a picture loaded, the picture will load so you can confirm that that face goes with the name of who you're trying to reach. And here you find their title, what department, their division they belong to, a phone number to reach them, and their email. The nice thing is the email is a hyperlink. So if you click on it, it will immediately open up a new email that you can start to the teacher if you have Outlook or a email system built into your computer that you're using. So I don't want to go ahead and send myself an email, so I'll close this up and we'll pop back over here to the RenWeb, ParentsWeb. If I want to look at the classes that my child is taking, I can click on Classes, and you'll see that I have 2 children loaded into this system. And so if I want to look at Susie's schedule, and she's a high school student, you can see that these classes are listed, and each of these would take me to a link that would tell me about the class and how to reach the teacher, and this gives me again that email hyperlink. Again, high school and middle school use Canvas, so there's a lot more ways to communicate with the teachers in Canvas. However, the elementary teachers do use the ParentsWeb for their syllabus and other activities, but it takes the first month of school for things to get loaded. So please be patient and give us a little time. Both of my students here, though, are in middle school, so I don't have an elementary example, and I apologize for that. We'll get one up for you later. If you want to see some resource documents about the ISP school, you can click on Resource Documents, and it will take you to the option to be able to download information or view it online. Here you'll see there's copies of this year's student handbooks for high school, middle school, and elementary, permission slip for transportation changes, overnight information for middle school events, and different activities and different contracts within the school. Things will sometimes be added throughout the year, and an announcement should be made in the Dolphin Dispatch. Speaking of the Dolphin Dispatch, if you'd like to get an extra copy or you've deleted the one that came in your email, the archive history is completely here. So here's issue 2 and issue 3, and by clicking on it, it takes you directly to a PDF. You do not need to save it or download it, but you could once the PDF opens. If you wanted to, you'd be able to save it on your computer. So we'll go back to the ParentsWeb. Sometimes we want to update information about our family, so we have this ability through the web forms. By clicking on Web Forms, it takes you to the option to update your family's demographic information. When you click on the link, it brings up the option to fill in forms for either of your children, or if you have one child or more, there'll be a line per child. You have the option to update transportation information, student medical, emergency contact, or student forms or parent forms as in contact information. If you do make changes to your transportation accounts, it is your responsibility to make those changes with the transportation company directly. This is simply to let us know that you've made some changes so we can confirm that we have your child on the correct bus. I do understand that sometimes these changes apply to all family members, and then sometimes they might be different schedules of transportation due to your child's after-school activities, or maybe difference in medical information. So therefore there is a form per child that you'll need to complete. If we wanted to go ahead and update some information, we'll do an example here. We'll click on Emergency Contact Form for Lewis, and when it opens you'll see that my first person saved is James Bond, and the second person saved is Wonder Woman, my aunt. So if I wanted to add a third person, I can simply click on the name put in here. We'll say Spider-Man is going to help, and that's maybe my child's uncle. And I want to put in a different phone number. I can go ahead and put in a Panamanian phone number, and I can go put in a different email address. If you have an auto-populate system on your computer, you'll notice sometimes it throws extra information in other places. So you'll want to go ahead and remove that so it doesn't confuse our staff when they see the update. When you're done, you just scroll to the bottom, and we do allow for up to 20 emergency contacts, so there's plenty of room to include people that you need for situations. Go ahead and click Save, and the information will save. Now, it does not immediately populate to your account because it does require that a staff member at ISP checks it and makes sure that it's in the right format and that we do have that information correctly transferred over. It usually takes a couple of days. If you notice that the information doesn't get updated, please contact the Records Department or the Transportation Department to make sure that that information has been received. So the other thing we'll want to look at is student information. So we're going to click over here on the left to student information. And you'll see that now the school information selection has closed and we've opened up the student information. The first thing I have is a student home page, and you'll see that each of my children have a separate tab. So if I only want to look on stuff about Susie, then I stay on the Susie tab, and when it's yellow, that indicates which child I'm looking at. If I want to change to Lewis, I simply click on his name and it moves over. What you'll notice is the first thing you see is the week's attendance. And so here you see that Lewis has been absent on Tuesday from his theater class, and he was absent on Wednesday from his math class. If you don't see the class listed, it means your child was marked present. The system does not record or list every P for present, whether it's in elementary, middle, or high school. They only mark tardies and absences inside of the ParentsWeb. The teachers are obviously marking both present and tardy or absent. So if I want to go ahead and come back here, you'll see that Susie had more absences in that week, and there could be different reasons for that. If you see the information incorrect, please contact your division offices to speak to them about the attendance record. You can also go ahead and see report cards once report cards have been posted or progress reports have been posted. So by clicking on report card, it takes you to the website where you see it. It stays within the ParentsWeb, and this is again an unofficial copy, but you have an option here. And you are able to hit print and print yourself a copy, again an unofficial copy for your records if you want to have an additional copy. We'll click back over here, and you'll see that this has a date of when it was printed, August 28th, and it has in the subjects my child studies, the teacher's name, and the grade. So when quarter one comes to a progress report standing, and it's not a closing of the grade books, but a quarter report for elementary, middle, or high, you'll have the correct template here for progress reports. When the semester comes, it will then give you semester information and rather than the progress information. So the system updates each time there's a different progress update or a quarter ending or semester ending with grades. And we already talked about attendance, but if you want more details and specifics, you can go ahead and click on attendance and see the entire history for the school year for your child by each of the quarter markings within the school year. The other thing you can view is what medical information we have on file for your child. Some of these accounts are very detailed and full, depending on how long they've been at ISP or how detailed the information was provided to the nurse. Some of this might be blank, and you're welcome to fill it in by using, like I showed you up here, the web forms and choosing under demographics the medical form for your child. And then you can fill in and update anything and everything that is there, or you can remove information if it's no longer applicable. So that will help our nurse know as well as our teachers know, especially if there's a medical situation or condition or an allergy. So we'll go back over here to students again, and if you're done with medical, you can always look at course requests. Now this is not always available. Course requests are open during the school year at certain times for middle and high school students to make selections on activities they might want to do or the schedule for the coming year. In this example, I've left open last year's course request section so that you could have an idea what it looks like. And here you see for Susie as a 10th grader, there was a period of time up in March where the students were able to put in selections of courses. And as I scroll down, you'll see they had to pick their English, their Spanish, and different subject areas and electives. Once they made those selections, they had a save button at the bottom that they were able to click. At this time, this is not open, so this is just a demonstration. When it opens back up for the new year, it will have different dates and different information for the appropriate grade that your child will advance to in the next year. Again, this is used mostly in high school, but middle school has used it in the past to select their electives, and for 8th graders going to 9th grade, they'll do their schedule. So if I click on Lewis, you'll see that he's a 6th grader, and at this time the course request selection area is closed. And this is what you should see when the button's there and it's not time to make requests. Lastly, if you would like, you can click on schedules and you would be able to see a copy of your child's schedule for the current quarter or semester that we're in. If you want to print a copy for your records, again, you click print and it brings you up an option, and then you can send it to your printer. And this system is updated regularly, so if changes happen with the guidance counseling and your child changes classes or teachers, it is an immediate reflection in the system. Lastly, before we say goodbye, I want to show you the family information section. Here, when you click it, again, you'll see the student information closes and you'll see your family information. Here you'll see all of the parents listed and the children in On My Fake Family. If I click on each of them, their contact information or location and email changes over here. And as you can see, it says parent or child in here. If you had a grandparent listed, it should say grandparent instead of parent. If you want to access the web form documents to make changes, you can click a shortcut link here. If you want to change your user ID or password, you can go ahead and do this by clicking on the user and password option. Now I'm in here as Donna Fake, so my current username was dfake, and it won't populate it so that you have to do it yourself. And if I wanted, in my current password, I have to put in so that it knows that I have the permission to do this. So I'm going to put that in. Now if I wanted to change this to Donna F instead of dfake, and I wanted to change my password or keep my password the same, I can go ahead and change it. So if I wanted to change my password, let me type in a new one. That's fine. And when I hit submit, it tells me in this case there's been an error. I'd already used that password too recently. But it did change my my ID as I asked it to. And I will go ahead and put in my old password. And so if I just want to save that user ID, it should go ahead and accept it from me. And it says here, my password has already been used recently, so I'll go ahead and change it. I need to put in the old one first, sorry. And this should work for us. And there we go. So I had to make sure that I used a password that I hadn't used my previous 2 times. And here the changes will be have been saved and are successful. So then you know that next time you log in that you'll use the new information. And of course when I'm done, I want to log out. If I want to test that I had just changed my user ID and password, I'll do my old one here. As you see, I'll put in Donna D fake and I'll try my old password. And when I do this, it will tell me that that's incorrect. Invalid credentials is indicating that I've used the wrong login or user ID. If I had put in the new one I wanted and still put in the old wrong password, make sure I type in the old one, it will tell me something different. It continues to tell me about invalid credentials, because I'm putting in the wrong password. So if I go here and put in the correct password, I'll be able to get back in. So when you get invalid credentials, it's telling you that you've put in the wrong information. So other than that, I think we're done for the day. Thank you again for joining us and touring our ParentsWeb access for parents through RenWeb. If you need support or questions, please feel free to reach out to your EdTech department. And again, my contact information is coming up on the screen, and that's Dr. Yemothy, and you can use my email at Yemothy@isp.edu.pa, and of course you're certainly welcome to reach out for tech support from the Tech Center, and our staff is bilingual, so you can reach them in Spanish or in English by email or phone or come in person. Lastly, before I leave you, I'd like to let you know that there is an app for your phone that's a smartphone that you're able to use with RenWeb. It's an app you get from the App Store, and I'm going to click over there real quick and see if I can bring that page up for you. So here you go. There's the icon. It looks like this. It says Home on it, and by typing in RenWeb Home, you're able to access it. So the App Store, again, it's in the App Store, and it works on smart devices. And we've paid for the subscription for all our ISP families, so you do not need to pay the $4.99 subscription fee as long as you put in the IS-PAN in the district code when you go to access it. You do need to have set up your account with the RenWeb ParentsWeb first through the web page, as I showed you earlier at the start of this tutorial. You cannot set up your user ID in the app itself, so please make sure to go to a web page and do that before you try to access the ParentsWeb Home app. If you have questions or need support, of course, reach out to your tech center. Once again, thank you for joining us. We're happy to help you, and we look forward to you visiting the tech center or contacting us if you need support. Have a great day.